Hello friends, welcome to Salesforce CMATICS video session 162. So basically in today's video, we will understand about all the difference which are there in different types of subcharts which are under the pipeline chart. Okay. So first of all, I will open all the subcharts which we have done till now under the pipeline chart. So firstly, let me open the waterfall chart. Okay. And let me open the stacked waterfall chart. Let me open the funnel chart. Let me open the origami, and finally the Sankey chart. Okay. Okay. So first point is definitely remembering what is the minimum requirement. That will always remain the first point which I have noted it down right in my notepad. So when it comes to your waterfall chart, you need one field for bars, one field for bar length. Okay. And when it comes to stacked waterfall, you definitely need for bars, bar length as bar segment. Okay. So that's the first point of difference is waterfall and what stacked waterfall, that one field is required for bars, bar length and bar and bar length, and stacked waterfall you need bar length and bar segments. Okay. And for Sankey you need one field for flow width and two fields for nodes. That's the minimum requirement. For others you don't need that. That is, for this funnel and origami, there's no minimum requirement which is needed to display the chart. Okay. Now the next point is basically in the form of representation. If you see, right, so basically when it comes to the waterfall chart, here you can see it's more like a waterfall, right? And when it comes to stacked waterfall, it's more like a waterfall itself. It's just that you have an extra part of bar segments. Now, when it comes to the funnel chart, as the name says, it's more like a funnel. Then, when it comes to the origami chart, it's more like I'm not quite sure how you call this, but it's more like a rod kind of a thing, if you see, right? Where basically each of the things, basically the width of the rod increases, right? As per the value which is there, right? That's how it is. That's how this is represented. Okay. And finally, you have the Sankey charts where it's more like a river kind of a thing, right? Sankey, where one point is following like a river to another point. It's more like that kind of thing. So that's the first difference, the minimum requirement. The second is about the visualization. Okay. Now, the third aspect is like under waterfall, you have this bar and bar length, okay, and you have the extra option of bar segment. Now, when it comes to the funnel, you have something called a segment and segment size. Okay, the same thing is there for origami, the segment and segment size, and here it's completely like flow width and nodes. Okay, so three kind of differences we have walked through right now. Okay, that's the thing. And now, if we come to the options, so here, so let me open all the options which are there. Okay. So when it comes to the options which are present, so basically in stacked waterfall, you actually have that option of showing the compute total, or use last bucket. Fine, you can give the total label, and you have that option of choosing the colors as well, right? Then you have the axis and y-axis, which is fine. Now when it comes to stacked, it's the same thing. It's just that you don't have that option of choosing the colors, and here it's more like the other parts are there, like show the value as number of decimals, same like that. Now, when it comes to this one, the funnel chart, you have something called as number of stem segments. So up till now, you were having that showing the total, right? Like you want to show the total, or you want to use the last bucket as the name suggests. But here, basically, you have to show the number of stem segments, fine. And here you can actually ensure if you want to show the measure or total. Now here, when it comes to the origami, you only have that option of showing the value as, and number of decimal, and whether you want to show the measure title or show total in title, that option is there. And when it comes to Sankey, you have a completely different option of showing the dimension level, show total, and show absolute. So that's the fourth point of difference, where different kind of settings are available. Basically, it's all the different settings which are available for each of the term. Now the fifth point of difference is definitely like under waterfall, you see you have this x-axis, y-axis tooltip, trellis, chart markers, conditional formatting. The same thing is under stacked waterfall, which is fine. Okay. Now, when it comes to the funnel chart, you don't have this option of x-axis, y-axis because it doesn't deal with axis. You have the legend tooltip, trellis, and chart markers, which is fine. And also you have the conditional formatting, something which you don't have under stack waterfall. Okay, so one point of difference I actually didn't walk you through is that basically when it comes to waterfall, you have this option of conditional formatting, but here you don't have the option of conditional formatting, and here you don't have the option of x-axis, y-axis. That is, on the funnel and origami. Okay, and here you actually don't have anything except the tooltip. Fine. So that is the fifth point of difference we can definitely note. So just to recap, like what are the difference between each one of them, and of course, like it's hard to memorize it. Like if this kind of questions are asked, you can maybe point out two or three differences. Okay, but we can just give a complete recap. So the first step is definitely again to give a complete recap the difference between each one of the subcharts which are present under pipeline is that when it comes to waterfall, you need the bar length for sure because the bars automatically come. So you need the bar length, okay, one bar length, and definitely when it comes to stacked waterfall, you need one bar length as well as one bar segment. That is the minimum requirement. And here, when it comes to the Sankey, you need two flow width. Sorry, two nodes. Okay, so you need two nodes. That's the something which is definitely needed. Funnel origami doesn't need anything. It will display if you have any measure. That's it. Okay. The second point of difference is related to visualization, where waterfall, it seems like a waterfall. Stack is also more like a waterfall, but it's just that you can have two dimensions which you can separately check. Okay. And when it comes to funnel, it's more like a funnel, of course. Origami is more like a rod where, the width is dependent upon the thickness of that measure which you are pointing that. And it's more like a river if you see scientific chart. Okay. The third point of difference is the fact that you know here you have this. So third point of difference is like the things which you deal on the data side. So it's like you have the bar and bar length. Okay, when it comes to stack waterfall, you have bar length and bar segment. When it comes to the funnel, you have the segment size as segment. Same with the origami, the segment size and segment. And here you have something called as nodes. Okay, you have the flow width. It's more like a flowing river, as I told you. So it's you have the flow width and nodes. Okay, so that's the thing. And the thing is that this is that was the third, and the fourth point is definitely like here you have the axis, you have the x-axis, y-axis, something which is there on the stack waterfall, but on the stack waterfall you don't have something called as the conditional formatting. Okay, and when it comes to this part, that is the funnel and the origami, you don't have the x-axis, y-axis because we are not dealing with the axis, as you can see with the visualization. And finally, when it comes to this one, we only have the tooltip. So under Sankey chart, you don't have anything. You neither have the conditional formatting, chart markers, trailers, as well as the legend. Nothing is there except the tooltip. That was the fourth point of difference. And the fifth point of difference, as I mentioned, like here, definitely the different settings. Like under waterfall, you deal with if you want to show the compute total, you want to use the last bucket. And when it comes to stack waterfall, you actually is the same thing. Fine, except for the fact that you don't have that option of choosing the colors. Like you have the starting color, you have the positive, negative color, and the total color. That is something you don't get to do under the stack waterfall because the bar segment is represented by different colors because you're measuring two different dimensions, and that logically makes sense, right? That's why the conditional formatting is not needed as well over there, because how will you like put different colors, right? That's not needed actually. Okay. And finally, when it comes to the funnel chart, you have these options of number of stem segments, and on origami you don't have anything. But in both of them, you have this button where that options where you can show the measure title, or you can enable or disable the measure title, or you can enable or disable the show title. Fine. And finally, when it comes to Sankey, you have all these options where you can enable or disable the show dimensions, labels, totals, as well as the absolute values. Okay. So yeah, this is more or less about all the different kind of difference between different subcharts which are there. So firstly, definitely remember what are the different subcharts which are under the pipelines. Definitely that can be asked. Okay. So you have the waterfall, stack, waterfall, funnel, origami, and Sankey. Secondly, the visualization. Second thing is that the difference is such, the visualization part, the minimum requirement. Third is most likely what are the different kind of options which you get to see under the data. Okay. Thirdly, the fourth is different kind of settings, and fifth, the different kind of features like whether the x-axis, y-axis, conditional formatting, okay, chart markers, all those kind of things. So yeah, that is all about this one. And just one thing, just for your information, in my experience till now, okay, particularly for the stage, because in opportunity we deal with this field called stage, right? So field, so basically when it comes to opportunity, that's where you get to see the pipeline of how the records is going, right? For example, if I open any opportunity record very quickly. So you have this particular thing, right? I forgot the name of this, but anyways, basically it's a path. It's more like a path, right? It's more like a lightning path, you can say. So this lightning path actually gives you that stages, isn't it? Like you have the prospecting, the qualification, need analysis, value proposition. So all this path, which you see that lightning path, which is there available on the record, that is something which we can also show on the CRML lens. So we deal with the stage. Now there was one aspect, if you remember, like where I calculated that, I mean, there was a stage kind of a calculator, okay, like a custom stage I calculated, which actually showed me the prospecting qualification, new as value proposition, all these parts, okay. Now that part was something which we usually show it fine over here, and mainly till now for stages we have actually, like I have personally in whatever projects I've worked, I have mainly used the funnel chart or maybe this kind of the origami chart, okay. Now honestly this actually fits perfectly. So basically the funnel chart is something which I've mostly used in many of the projects, but later stage I also realized that the origami can actually perfectly fit the stage part. So when it comes to showing the stage as similar to the lightning part, I think this is something you can actually kind of use it, okay. Now I hope you are trying to understand this lightning part. So this lightning part, I can show you similar to this very quickly with an example. So I just forgot where I had mapped the derived fields, so I can very quickly cross check that part. uh, I guess it was in free session 3 if I'm not wrong, the derived fields. Let's see if we have that. No, this is not the one. I think in free session 5 then maybe. Okay, free session 5 also it's not there, which is strange. Maybe free session 7. Okay, not there. Free session 8. Okay, free session 8, I went to relative. That means it has to be somewhere in 7 or 6, I guess. Okay, yeah. So if you remember, here we had mapped something called a stage sorted, right? So there was this stage sorted where you remember we had mapped that properly. Now this is something which I can show you properly with the help of an origami chart. Okay. So what I will do is I will very quickly open this derived fields data set. Fine. I will just very quickly open this one. Why it is not coming? Okay, refresh it once. It should come up. Not sure. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me go to the shared app and let's check it over there. The data set. Let me very quickly see if I have the derived. Yeah, this is the one. Okay, now here, if I just quickly move to the origami, what I can do is I can show that segment of page. Okay, I think probably it's not coming right now. We have the new derived fields data set. I think probably I didn't run it for a long time. So maybe I can show you in our next video. Fine. So basically, here different kind of segment should have come up. Let me check once with the parse. Yeah, only name and stage is coming. Maybe I didn't run that for a long time, or maybe for some other reason it is not coming right now. But basically under derived fields, I can show you that part. Okay, so that's the thing. Maybe very quickly I can check under recipe dataset if the derived field is present. Okay, fine. Not an issue. Maybe I can show you in the next step, like how this lightning path you can exactly do with the help of origami. Okay, that's the thing. But I hope you understood all the difference which is there between each one of the subcharts which are present under pipelines. And yeah, that's it about this. Let's meet very soon in our next one. Thank you.